Good morning, all of you, and let's try this question from my upcoming textbook. And this is fully J relevant, और देखते हैं how we can go about it. So we have Z1 to Z10 as 10 complex numbers such that it satisfy this relation for all k from 1 to 9 if magnitude of Z1 and Z2 is known, and for all natural numbers from 3 to 10 if this recurrence is satisfied, we need to find the minimum value of this. Now, the moment you look at the question, it looks scary, and this is a usual trick of J1. So let's see how to go about this. And here we go with the solution. So the first step behind solving is to decode this problem. So we have 10 complex number will satisfy this. For instance, let's put k equal to 1 to get a feel. So we'll get Z1I plus Z2I square equals Z2I plus Z1 I square, right? So now we can happily cancel I, and we are left with Z1 plus Z2I equals Z2 plus Z1I. Of course, with little effort, we can write Z1 plus something. So I can multiply with mod of minus I. So Z1I plus Z2. The reason I multiply with mod of minus I, with mod of minus I is also going to be 1. And that will convert by the property of mod A mod B. तो ये बन जाएगा मेरा Z1 minus I Z2. So now we have a standard interpretation of this equation, Z1 plus I Z2 by Z1 minus I Z2 mod equal to 1. And this kind of problem is not new to you because we can interpret this first algebraically. It's algebraic interpretation, and then I'll tell you geometrically also. So we can divide by Z2. So we are having Z1 by Z2 plus I by Z1 by Z2 minus I equals 1. So now we can easily see, let's say if Z1 by Z2 is some complex number, I'm telling W, then the given equation translates to W plus I equals mod W minus I. Now what does it mean in Argand plane? The complex plane P is the distance of complex number from iota, and from minus iota is same. So clearly that complex number has to be along perpendicular bisectors, so you can be anywhere on the x-axis. And hence I can tell Z1 by Z2 must lie on real axis or x-axis. So since Z1 by Z2 is lying on real axis, if I pick up any point on this axis, on positive half, I'll get its argument as 0 because making 0 degree with the x-axis. If I take any point on the negative x-axis, I'll get argument as pi. So hence I can tell arg of Z1 by Z2 will be either 0 or pi. Of course, I'm not taking into consideration the origin, and in that case Z1 will be 0. That's not allowed because magnitude of Z1 is 9. So Z1 and Z2 differs by either same angle or it differs by an angle of 180 degree. तो यहाँ से मुझे क्या conclusion मिला? यहाँ से the conclusion that I am getting is, let's say Z1 is over here, तो Z2 भी इसी line पे होगा, right? So if I represent Z1 by some point A, Z2 can be either here or here or here. So it will definitely be on the line joining origin to Z1. So either Z2 will be on the same side of Z1 or opposite side. If it is on the same side, they will have argument of Z1 and argument of Z2 will be same. So that will be covering 0 case. If it is on opposite side, argument of Z1 and argument of Z2, that will become pi. Right. So that's clear about this. इसको अब कोई बच्चा ऐसे भी visualize कर सकता था pure geometrically by the second method. So let's say instead of manipulating here and going further by dividing Z2, I could have directly visualized Z1 plus Z2I equals Z1 minus Z2I interpretation geometrically. What does it mean? It means we have a complex number Z1 somewhere, and let's say we got a complex number Z2, right? So what is Z2I geometrically? So if we have got this complex number Z2, I have to multiply with this I, so that will result in rotation by 90 degree. So that's famous rotation theorem. So it's 90-degree rotation, and that point will exactly be z2y with the same magnitude, right? Similarly, minus z2y is rotation in opposite way by 90 degrees. So since this angle is 90 and this is also 90, so it's total 180. So exactly this will be minus z2i location. Now the distance of z1 from these 2 points should be same. So clearly z1 must lie on the perpendicular bisector of line joining, let's say point A and B. Okay. Now the midpoint of A and B is clearly origin. So z1 must lie on this origin, right? z1 must lie on this origin. अब आप ये भी देख सकते हो, since this entire angle is 180 degree and z2 is exactly making 90 degree, it means z2 must lie along the same line joining origin in z1, right? Because this angle has to be 0, right? This angle has to be 0. So hence I can tell that z1 and z2 must lie along the same line of action. Their line of action will be same. So that still shows either z1 and z2 will have angle difference of or phase difference of 0 degree or 180 degree, 0 and pi. So I hope it is clear. तो आप यहाँ से हम ये इन्फॉर्मेशन निकाल सकते हैं. बस अब क्वेश्चंस काफ़ी आसान हो गया, बिकॉज आई हैव डन इट फॉर z1 and z2. यू कैन डू इट इन जनरल फॉर एनी zk and zk plus 1, because same philosophy will happen for z2 and z3. So again I can show if this is our line of which holds z1 and z2 suppose. So again z2 and z3 will also be on the same line. Okay, again if we have z3 over here, so z4 will be on the same line, z5, z6, z7. Okay, but all these will have the property either their phase difference is 0 or pi. So that is the first part of the problem. So we have understood this. Next is we want to minimize these values of mod z1 plus mod z2. ठीक है, अब this information is required क्योंकि if I don't know how to go from the magnitude of z1 and z2, just हमको इतना पता है कि हम इस लाइन पे हैं. अब ये लाइन पे 9 किधर है यही पता है, क्योंकि 9 z1 is at 9 unit away from origin. Its magnitude is 9. And z2, the magnitude of z2 is 29. It means z2 is at 29 unit away. So either it can go in opposite direction 29 distance, or it might be in the same direction. So we have two possibilities. But since we want to minimize all of these values, so I'll be tempted to take the directions with 180 degree alternatively with 0 and 180, right? Because let's say if I need to find z3, the z3 का mod यहाँ से क्या आएगा, put n equal to 3, that's allowed. So again with this recurrence relation, I'll use mod z1 plus mod z2. तो ये तो हम लिख ही नहीं सकते क्योंकि मेरा रेफरेंस क्या है, mod of z1 plus z2, magnitude of z1 plus magnitude of z2 I can't write. Now if I take z1 and z2 in the same direction, तो फिर ये क्या हो जाएगा, it will be 9 plus 29 because they have same angle. So if we'll write in polar form, it's 9 e ka power I theta, other will be 29 e ka power I theta. So if it is same direction, we'll get 38. But definitely that's more value of z3. So can you lower it down? Of course, yes. So what I'll do is we'll take the opposite direction of z1 and z2. So maybe if z1 is at 9 distance, I'll take z2 completely with a phase gap of pi, which is 29. So by this I can tell z3 value I can minimize with the help of 1 and 2 value. तो z3 का जो मिनिमम वैल्यू यहाँ पे आएगा वो अपने पास आ रहा है 9 minus 29 which is 20. अब सिमिलरली z3 is 20 and again I know the relation z4 का magnitude is mod of z3 plus z2 and z2 का mod is 29. तो फिर I'll take opposite direction z2 and z3, तो यहाँ से आएगा 29 minus 20, right, e to the power I theta. So basically what I'm telling, if I'll take one of them as 29 e ka power I theta, then other is 29 e ka power I theta, then other is plus 9 e ka power I pi plus theta. समझ रहे हो? तो यहाँ से जो ये डेवलप कर किया तो दिस इज cos पाई प्लस थीटा प्लस आई साइन पाई प्लस थीटा, तो ये हो गया 29 cos थीटा प्लस आई साइन थीटा, और ये आ गया -9 cos थीटा प्लस आई साइन थीटा, क्योंकि मेरे कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर्स तो यह है, इट्स अलोंग द लाइन पासिंग थ्रू ओरिजिन, लेट्स से इफ इट मेक्स एंगल थीटा, तो आप वो 9 इसका मैग्नीट्यूड है और थीटा आर्गुमेंट है, तो कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर को रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं 9 का पावर आई थीटा के फॉर्म में, राइट। तो यहाँ से मेरा आंसर 29 और 9 से 20 आ गया, ठीक है। तो ये तो था 29 और 9 वाला एक्सप्लेनेशन वाज फॉर Z3। अब फिर Z4 कैसे करेंगे? Z4 का मैग्नीट्यूड इज Z2 प्लस Z3, अगेन अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में लो, सो 29 इज देयर एंड 20 इज देयर, सो विल गेट 9। So like this we can minimize each and every one of them by taking opposite phase angle. तो फाइनल आंसर मेरा क्या हो जाएगा? सिग्मा मॉड जेड के इक्वल टू 1 to 10 तक आई हैव टू ऐड, सो इट्स 9 प्लस 29, नेक्स्ट विल बी 29 और 9 20, फिर 29 माइनस 20 का गैप कैन बी मिनिमम 9, फिर इसका गैप 11, इसका गैप 2, देन वी हैव 9, then 7, then 2, and then 5. That is the last thing for 10th one. And if we'll add this, we are getting 103. So that's the answer for this problem. And I hope you see the ideas that is involved here is very basic, because the property that is being used is the modulus property. Mod of Z1 Z2 is mod of Z1 into mod of Z2, and argument of Z1 Z2 is argument of Z1 plus argument of Z2, provided you are putting both argument in their principal domain. Otherwise many books and many author adds 2 and pi to it. वो डिपेंड करता है आप कैसे आर्गुमेंट को डिफाइन करो। स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड डेफिनेशन जो है वो -पाई से +पाई तक का डेफिनेशन, ठीक है। तो अगर आपको ये वीडियो से काफ़ी कुछ सीखने को मिला, और स्पेशली एडवांस का प्रॉब्लम इसी स्टैंडर्ड का होगा और इसी लैंग्वेज का होगा, बिकॉज दे आर वेरी फेंसिफुल एंड दे आर वेरी ऑब्सेस्ड अबाउट दिस काइंड ऑफ रेफरेंस रिलेशन। यहाँ पे कोई रेफरेंस था नहीं, मतलब द आइडिया वाज हाउ टू डिकोड द क्वेश्चन। तो जो बच्चा प्रॉब्लम को सही से डिकोड कर लिया, एट दैट टाइम ओनली द प्रॉब्लम इज क्लियर, राइट। सो आई विल कम विथ मोर प्रॉब्लम्स which is relevant to your JEE preparation, and if you want to access it, please do like and subscribe the channel.